Hi, I'm Scott Mack, and I'm a super fan of the Brewers.
My name is Rob, aka The Butcher, and I am a die-hard Brewers fan.
I'm Andrew, and I'm a Brewers super fan.
I've been a baseball fan, but I would probably say, I think I was at my first Brewers game when I was 8.
Okay.
So I think that was probably when I started really hey, Robin Yount is my favorite player, and actually following and playing more with the neighbor kids and stuff like that. I know, I'd watch it on TV with my dad, but it was more, I think, 8 or 10-ish area is when I really started being a true fan of baseball.
Well, much like most kids, I think, in America, I was exposed to baseball at a pretty young age. I'd say 4 or 5 years old. I was taken to my first experience at County Stadium. Sat in the 400s in the upper deck, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. I didn't fully understand what was going on, but from that day on, I started playing ball. My mom got me into the T-ball, and then the next level would be the coach pitch league, and then there would be the kids pitching to you, and I played every level until I was in high school, played a little bit in high school, and followed the Brewers all throughout. I watched the drought of the 90s years when they were a terrible team, always sitting pretty low in the division. I remember when the team switched to the National League in 1998. That was exciting.
I was 7, 8 years old, and my grandma took me we watched the Brewers games at her house, and when I think I was 9, we went to spring training for the first time, and that was when I got my first autographs.
I mean, I've always been into autographs, but I kicked it into high gear probably 04. Started going early to games, getting autographs, that kind of stuff. Then I met my buddy Pete, and he had an autograph collection already going. Then we started to go to, way before when they would be getting into the stadium, and we'd get them at the parking lot before they took that away from fans. Started doing that, then start going to spring training, been going there for 14 years, so, a mass amount of freebie autographs, as we like to say them, for that, and then it has evolved into getting to know players, because we've seen them come up from the lower leagues, and it's just been growing ever since.
The fact that even from a young age you could do it, hitting a ball off a tee ain't that hard, it's a game that a lot of kids get into at a young age because it's low impact. It's not like football where people are headbutting each other. It was the fact that I could do it from a very young age, and I developed friendships from that, and I think a lot of kids can relate to this too. You develop friends, and as you continue to grow every summer playing a new season, you're on the same team with some of those kids, and then you're playing against them the next year. So it was the bonding that came from it. It was the fact that my mom came to the games. That's important for a lot of kids. The parents come into the games. That gets you, floored. They support you. It's exciting. It's something that the whole family can get behind, and it's just a load of fun. You bring the treat. Somebody bring the treats every game. And you enjoy having a little Capri Sun at the end of the game.
Really like the way it's played, and the chess match of it all, the managing of it. But I always liked seeing how it was managed. Why aren't they bunting? Why are they doing a squeeze play here? Or what? Just that part of it for me has always been interesting.
In 09 is when I started becoming a season ticket holder, doing a 20-game pack. But I would end up still going to 50-plus games, doing road trips. So that was probably about 9 games out of the season. Plus, then it's just, if I was home and they're in town and I have nothing going on, get tickets, go to the game. So I average about 50 to 55 games a year. And then if it's playoffs, you're looking at 60, 70 games. So
I guess I wouldn't say it was a memory from a game I was at. It was more the time in 2018 when this team was going to the National League Championship Series against the Dodgers. That's a pretty big moment for me, because we had a team of people that just had passion at that time for the Brewers. We had Jesus Aguilar, we had Orlando Arcia, Braun was still in the mix. This team had a lot of fun, they had a lot of fire, and we were taking on this huge lineup of the Dodgers, this highest paid lineup in all of baseball, and it was this small market team going against them, and it was really cool to. I don't care that they lost. I didn't think they could have beat the Red Sox in the World Series. It was a great series, and it was nice to see our team, actually feeling like we were for real for once.
It's this baseball card. It's signed by Greg Vaughn, and I got that at spring training the first time and the only time I ever went.
And I remember asking him, Mr. Vaughn, would you sign my card? And he asked me to help him with his bags. And I helped him to like the door. You know, it was, where was that called? Maryville? This is early 90s.
Sure.
So the facility's a lot different, but I just remember like him having a Ford Explorer, goes to the back, he's got this leather bag full of his stuff. He's like, grab my bag, I'll sign your card. And it was like, you're my hero.
To see a no-hitter in my lifetime. But man, when you end up hitting 4 or 5 home runs in a game, that's pretty darn fun. I will say I think I gravitate towards the bullpen guys because they're out on their own. They got their own little unique little stuff they do. And again, that's a lot of the players that I started getting to know because they're way more accessible than Ryan Braun, Christian Yelich's, those kind of guys.
What inspires me most to be a fan and a quote-unquote super fan, which I do consider myself a super fan of baseball, what floors me most is I think it's our job as baseball fans to get the young generation into the game so it doesn't die, so it doesn't fall into mediocrity under the other major sports. It's our job as fans not to sit there and complain about the pace of play and how bad the game is and how boring it is. It's our job to be excited and to be passionate to these younger kids. Like coaching your kids in t-ball, going to the games, getting excited when things happen on the game, explaining what's going on, because this is a beautiful game. There's a reason it's had such a long-standing history in this country, and it's worth saving and it's worth preserving. That's what really floors me as a fan. It's not so much when the Brewers are good, it's that when baseball's good, and there's a lot of young, awesome stars in the game today, and we got to support this sport so it can stay relevant and stay huge for the fans to come. That's what inspires me.